Hi, I'm Batmalushni and I'm coming from Group 2. Today, my team members and I will be presenting our project of FCSIT Food Kiosk System. My team consists of 5 members, which is Samuel, Putri Nurliana, and Tasmi Batma, and then Farisha, lastly, Nurin Batrisha. Now, let's take a look at the project definition, which are problem statement and also proposed solution. Firstly, absence of online payment. In today's world, many things are going online. This includes the ability to pay online, which the kiosk does not provide. This produces a problem for students who practice cashless lifestyle or have insufficient cash with them. Next is prices far beyond what students can budget. Pricing for every item sold should be within student budget. However, some of the items that are sold at kiosks could be found cheaper outside the campus. Next is limited food option. The variation of food options is also limited as some foods in faculty kiosks are also sold at other faculties kiosks, which reduce the number of customers. Last but not least, our poor food quality. The quality control is needed to be considered to ensure the quality of food being sold are safe to be consumed throughout the whole day. It is also important for staff to get feedback from their customers to improve the kiosk to its best. So, to overcome this, we come with the solutions, which is cashless payment as an option such as QR or online payment. Next is vigilant on the food's quality. Lastly, add a variation to the menu.
Good morning, Doctor. I am Samuel, and I will be presenting the context level diagram and level 1 later on. As you can see in the center of the diagram, we have an entity labeled at 0 under the name of FCSIT Food Kiosk Management System. This is the core entity that processes all instructions between the users while maintaining data exchange and data storage. So as you can see on our left, the entity on our left is the supplier, where the supplier will send their application to the system and also their food supply details such as their ingredients, their energy contains, and they will receive from the system the approved application and also their invoice and the receipt. On our top right, you can see there's a staff entity where the staff will key in their inventory record, their daily sales report, and leftover details to be kept as a record in the system for history purposes. While on the right left, we can see there's a kiosk management manager where the kiosk manager will receive the supplier's application request and will accept the application. When we also receive the weekly report that was sent out by the staff, and it will send out the receipt details to the suppliers and will receive the payment information that is needed to pay the suppliers. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and good evening. Today I will be presenting about our group's diagram level 0. In this diagram level 0, it involves 6 processes, 3 entities, and 4 data stores. The first process that it involves in this diagram is 1.0, fill in supplier application form. In this process, it has 2 inputs and 3 outputs. The first inputs that we receive is from the supplier, which is supplier application, and another one is from the kiosk manager, which is accepted application. The outputs that will be produced from this process is supplier application request for the kiosk manager and approved application for the supplier, and also supplier information for the first data store, which is supplier details file. The second process that is involved in this diagram is 2.0, record food supply details. In this process, it has 1 input and 2 outputs. The input that it will receive, which is from the supplier, which is food supply details, and the output that we produce from this process is inventory details for the second data store inventory file, and also another output that we produce is total food supply for the third process. The third process for this diagram is 3.0, update inventory. In this process, it involves 3 inputs and 2 outputs. The first input is from the previous process, which is total food supply. Another 2 inputs that it will receive is from the staff, which is inventory record and leftover details. The output that will be produced from this process is updated inventory record for the second data store inventory file, and second output is for the fourth process, which is total inventory. The fourth data store, the fourth process in this diagram is 4.0, record total sales. In this process, it involves 2 inputs and 2 outputs. The first input that it will receive is from the previous process, which is 3.0, update inventory. It will receive total inventory as the input. The second input that it will receive is from the staff, which is daily sales report. The output that will produce from this process is inventory details, which is for the third data store, D3 sales record. And another output that will be produced from this process is total sold item, which is for the fifth process. The fifth process of this diagram is 5.0, generate payment. In this process, it has 3 inputs and 3 outputs. The first inputs that it will receive from this diagram is total sold item, which is from the previous process. The second input that it will receive is from the supplier, which is invoice. And the third input that it will receive is from the kiosk manager, which is receipt details. The output that will be produced from this process is receipt, which is for the supplier. The second output will be the fourth data store, which is payment record. And the third output will be payment information for the kiosk manager. The sixth process for this diagram is 6.0, which is generate weekly report. In this process, it has 3 inputs and 1 output. The first input that it will receive is from the second data store, which inventory file, which is inventory information. The second input that it will receive is from the third data store, sales record. And the third input that it will receive is from the fourth data store, which is payment record. The output from this process is a weekly report for the kiosk manager.
Hi, it's me again, and I'll be presenting the data flow diagram level 1. We will be focusing on the third process of the level 0, and we first see the sub-process of the third process is 3.1, labeled as 3.1, which is record amount of inventory, where it will receive total food supplies, inventory records, and level details, and which will be processed into inventory information, where it will pass through the second sub-process, which is the process 3.2, which is record amount of sold item. In this 3.2, there will be the inventory information will be processed and will be recorded and will be processed into sold items information, and then it will be passed to the third sub-process, which is 3.3, under the name of record amount for leftovers. And there will be 2 outcomes from this process, which is the total inventory will be then passed through to the fourth process in the level 0, and the other part of it will be stored in the D2 data store, which is inventory file.
Assalamualaikum and hello. I am G02 and I will be demonstrating the prototype for FC Food Kiosk Management System. As you can see, this is our homepage. In this homepage, there are 2 buttons which are supplier and staff. The user can select one depending on the roles. For supplier, there are 3 buttons which are log in, sign up, and new application. If supplier are interested to become a supplier for the food kiosk in the property, they can select new application to apply. It will bring to a new page where the supplier need to fill in their personal information such as name, IC, and others, and most important, SSN. If they are registered for SSN, they need to fill in the registration number. Then, they also need to fill in their contact information. They can save the information first, and a pop-up will appear to inform that the information has been saved. The user then can click the next button. In this page, they can register the item that they will sell. The same thing user can do, which is save the information here. The user also can cancel and it will return to the previous page here. So, lastly, the user can click apply. A confirmation message will appear and the user will click yes. They need to agree with the terms and condition before clicking the OK button. Right after, it will bring the user back to the home page. And then, the supplier can sign up. So when they sign up, they can fill in the information and password and also registration code that they will receive in the email after the application has been approved by the manager. They can save the information and then they can also click create. After they click OK, they will return again to the home page. After that, they can log in with the supplier ID and the password. They can click Forgot Password if they don't remember the password. It will ask them to enter the email and click Confirm. Hence, after that, the recovery process will be sent to the email. If the supplier haven't signed up, they can click the Sign Up button below. It will bring them to the sign in pages as before. After that they have logged in, they will get into a supplier dashboard. And in here, they can see information regarding their sales, orders, and also profit. There are home button and order button and also my account. In other section, there are new order and receive. For new order, to make it easier for the supplier, they can access it through their phone, hence this small interface replicates the phone interface. In here, they can fill in the product ID, the item name, quantity, the price, the total, and also the date and the time. The date and the time are important since we want to control the quality of the food that are delivered to the kiosk. The user can click create and the confirmation message will appear. For receipt, the supplier can see their past transaction. This is where the supplier can generate invoice to the manager for the payment by the end of each week. The supplier needs to check all the information are correct before checking the box and click the generate invoice. Right after that, the user can log out of their account and they will return to the home page. For staff, there is not much of difference except there are no new application button needed, but only sign up and log in. Same with supplier, the staff needs to sign up. They need to fill in their detail, password, and staff ID given to them. They can save the information, then can click create. After that, they can log in into their account with their staff ID and password. One more function is that the user can hover at the eye icon to change the visibility of the password just in case they enter the wrong password. For example, like this. So after that, the staff can log in. After they log in, they will be brought to a slightly different dashboard, where in this part, they need to choose either they are a manager or a staff. For a manager, they can see application requests sent by a new supplier. They also can see invoice requests. Other than that, they can view the report. But if there are only a staff, they can only view daily sale page where they can update quantities sold, amount of item unsold, the total sales and the total price of an item unsold. After they are done, they can log out from the account. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and good morning to Dr. Yanti. My name is Farisha binti Effendi and I will be presenting about supplier's dashboard. After logging in, supplier will go to the dashboard or as known as homepage. In this dashboard, the highlight key performance metrics displayed prominently on the dashboard are such as number of orders received, sales statistic which is from January to June, order completion rates, for example 120 orders, and also profit. For example, we got RM 205 ringgit. For navigation and organization, it explains how the dashboard is intuitively structured to guide suppliers through key tasks and features, grouping them into logical categories for easy access. For core functionalities, it demonstrates prototype level examples of features accessible from the dashboard, such as managing product listings, viewing order details, tracking inventory levels, communicating with your staff, and lastly, the time. So for the sales statistic, we can see it increases from January to June. That's all for me. Thank you so much.